got about 30 minutes it takes here. I'll do as many as I can before we hand it over to Grandy and Max tonight. Got some Celtics basketball taking on Portland. Big Jim. A lot to get into, a lot going on with the Patriots and NFL news today. I do have some betting odds of the next destination for DK Metcalf. He also had some choice words regarding playing in Massachusetts. And I have a bunch of Bruins stuff from last night. I worked the game, and I finally have been crunching the numbers, and it is over for them. They're done. And again, more Celtics stuff tonight, and a couple of interesting broadcast notes for the team over the next couple of games. But I wanted to lead it off tonight with what is going on in free agency before actual tampering period begins for free agency. And our leadoff take is brought to you by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Leadoff take brought to you by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. So free agents, do they still want to come to New England? It wasn't the case a year ago. And now that the Patriots have more money and a new coach and a quarterback that they can show off, is it still a destination, or can it be a destination? And just a couple of things to throw out there. Tom Curran had a quote from NBC Sports Boston. Players are looking at the Patriots like it's Siberia. We're perceiving the Patriots as being in on players because of the amount of money they have. Every single player is going to talk about or look at this team, and they're going to have to swallow hard and say, do I really want to go there just for the money? In my opinion, yes. Yes. Take the Patriots out of it for a second. Let's talk about our lives, right? There are plenty of people that would probably take the money to put themselves in a better situation. Now, is the job great? Are the coworkers good? That's a different thing. And that's probably something that players will have to work with when it comes to playing in New England. But just think of it in your line of work. If a company is throwing around money because they want to get serious, don't you have to be serious about that? So I think in sports, it always comes down to the money. Now, if you have success, I know at some points there are, you can go to other sports, but some guys like staying in Boston. A lot of the hockey players like to stay in Boston because of the school systems, etc. But in football, does that always happen? In baseball, does that always happen? When I think about the New England Patriots, they now have to pay because A, they have the most money, B, they struggle, and C, they need to show the league again that they're open for business. If we cross sports a little bit here, isn't that what the Red Sox just did this offseason? They finally became serious about playing baseball in October. Finally. The Patriots keep talking about it. Last year, the term money to burn, cash to burn, didn't go over well. Well, this year, at least some of the words that you've heard are, well, every team spends more in free agency and makes mistakes. So it sounds like the Patriots want to spend money the right way, and at certain positions, maybe they will overpay. But let's just bring up Ronnie Stanley for an example. We were just talking about this off the air. He's 30 years old. The Ravens did not tag him and did not come to an agreement. But for Ronnie Stanley, who's been a standout at tackle, would he want to play in New England and be the blind side for Drake May for more money than he'd get with Baltimore? I say yes. Now, the Ravens, again, are knocking on the door consistently. I always look at a team like the Chiefs, for an example, who moved on from Joe Thuney today, who I'll get to in a second. But now they could be in the mix for a guy like Stanley if they have the cap space. I just think that in the end, money does talk. It does. But in football, you can get creative with signing bonuses, etc. But I do think the Patriots are a destination this offseason. Hey, I didn't think it was when it came to coaching. And I was wrong about that. Vrabel came in. McDaniels is here. They went out and got some really good coaches to be assistants. Like, they're trying to start there and build it out. But they are going to have to spend some money, and They're going to have to draft much better as well. But when you hear the term, it's like Siberia. Do players actually have to swallow and say, do I really want to go to New England just for the money? I still think players like the money. I know that if you're in winning situations, again, I'll bring up Ronnie Stanley. I could see him going to a Chiefs who just moved on. Maybe the Rams or one of those teams. But both of them are dealing with cap issues. The Patriots are not. It could be a seamless fit for a guy like Ronnie Stanley. Speaking of the offensive line, the Patriots have had a chance to get a couple of guys that have been released. One was Joe Thuney today. Now, I didn't really think Thuney was a fit. And the reason why I don't think Thuney's a fit is just they don't need another guard. The Patriots need a tackle. But when you look at what's been given up, a fourth-round pick the following season, it does make you think, hey, were they in on that? Did they call on that? And, I look at a team like the Bears with their rookie quarterback, or now will be second-year quarterback. But the Bears last year, right, Caleb Williams was sacked 68 times a year ago. And we saw the Patriots play them and sack them 9 times in the game. But the Bears have got Caleb Williams' help so far. And all they had to do was give up 2 day 3 draft picks. Jonah Jackson goes from the Rams to the Bears. All it took was a 6th-round pick. Now, they brought in some cap space as well to help out. When it goes to Joe Thuney, yeah, the Bears take on the cap hit, but they gave up a 4th-round pick. I just feel like these guys are going by the wayside for second-day picks. The Patriots must really be interested in people in free agency. And the name I have circled is Stanley. I'll keep bringing it up. A left tackle that's 30 years old. Who knows? Cam Robinson could be another who was available at the deadline. At the trade deadline, they passed on it. Has a history with Doug Marrone, the offensive line coach. There are options. And there are plenty of options in free agency. And I think the Patriots have made it clear that they have identified players, which A, yes, B, now they have to give up the money and spend the money. And that's when we'll know if players will choose the money over playing in New England. Speaking of that, more trade rumors today regarding wide receivers. And according to Adam Schefter, DK Metcalf has asked for a trade and has had discussions with Seattle about moving on. And I know that Katie Nolan on her podcast had DK Metcalf and had a response about playing for the Patriots. It's not a desirable place, in my opinion. You have that, Skess? Hey, let's hear it. Why don't we hear from DK Metcalf?
No.
What? You couldn't see yourself ever living in Massachusetts?
Look at how long it's taking you to say the word. No. No, it's not a desirable place in my opinion. I said great organization.
Yes, of course.
Great organization.
Some may say the best.
So he's out. Or is he? Let's take a look at the latest betting odds of where DK Metcalf could end up in his next team. The favorite is the Green Bay Packers. We heard about the report earlier this week that the Packers have put up their first-round pick, number 23, for DK Metcalf. Next, it's the New England Patriots at 5-1 odds. The Patriots need a number 1 option. There's one available via trade. Yesterday, the report was A.J. Brown. We know the relationship between Mike Vrabel. The fact that he wanted to play for the Patriots, and he's always talked about it being a destination. If the Patriots are going to get a number 1 receiver, it's going to have to come via a trade. And it's probably going to have to come with a contract extension. It is reported that DK Metcalf wants $30 million a year. The Patriots have it. They wanted to do it, or at least said they would do it for Brandon Ayuk, who's still another name that is out there. Between Ayuk, Metcalf, A.J. Brown, I prefer the latter of Brown and Metcalf. I know they were in on Ayuk. This is where the Patriots need to spend the money, give up a pick. And I don't know if they want to do that. Like, I don't know if the Patriots would give up their second-round pick for DK Metcalf. We all look at it and say, no-brainer. It's going to be interesting how the sweepstakes for Metcalf does end up. Just to give you the rest of those odds, Raiders 7-1, Steelers 7-1, and I think the best destination for him and where everything is at least pointing signs to, the Chargers. They overhauled their wide receiver room a year ago. They got Ladd McConkey. I think DK Metcalf playing on that team could really take them over the top, and I know that they have Quentin Johnson as well. He struggled. I think Metcalf to the Chargers is a good destination for him. Can the Patriots make it a destination for DK Metcalf? We'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. There's also other options out there, right? If they don't want to overpay and they're not serious, get ready for the Christian Kirks of the world. Get ready for that. All right, 617-779-0985. I do have some Bruins numbers I wanted to bring up. And the Celtics play tonight. The Blazers. We'll tell you who's in and who is out here until 6:30. I'm Joe Murray on the Sports Hub. Oak season. If the Patriots are going to make a move for a number one wide receiver, it's going to be by trade. And if somebody gets released and becomes available, fine, I'll accept it. But if they really are serious about a number one option, it needs to be by trade. And if Brandon Ayuk's out there and the 49ers are seriously considering it, I don't necessarily love the idea of it, but it might only cost you a day 2 pick. A.J. Brown, with the new extension, I think he's still going to command a second round pick. DK Metcalf, if the Packers are reportedly offering the number 23 overall pick, does that include the extension? Like, if you're the Patriots and you got pick 38, could you dangle that out with a hefty extension? That's where I think the money comes into it. The money. And I think the Patriots have to be serious about it. I do think that the Chargers are serious about it. Don't forget, last year, the Chargers drafted a left tackle, Joe Alt. It's working pretty well for them. Granted, Herbert really struggled in the playoffs, but they were a good team last year. And you give them DK Metcalf? Oof. Patriots got to beat the Chargers out for that. They need to beat them out for it. And the A.J. Brown thing, I don't know why Philadelphia would give up on him. Unless he asks. Unless there's something there. It also would help them out with their salary cap. And the Patriots are the team that can absorb the salary. I know some people want to get in on the Patriots talk. I just wanted to bring up some numbers quickly on the Bruins last night. I've been working these games, everybody. It's been bad. Like 3-0 leads, 2-0 leads. Last night they tied it up 3-3 in the third period, and they give up 2 goals in under 2 minutes. It's been really hard to watch. So they can't score goals, and yet they can't stop the other team from scoring goals. Nashville was really bad going into that game. They were losers of 6 in a row on the road, and they have one of the worst road records in all of the NHL. And last night, they put up 5 goals with the empty net. So I wanted to just bring up these numbers when it comes to the Boston Bruins. When they give up 3 goals or more this year, they've done it 39 times. They're 11-28. When they give up 3 goals in a game, it's happened 16 times. They're 10-6 on the year. When they give up 4 goals in a game, it's over. 4 goals or more, they're 1-22. This goes back to their blue line. This goes back to Jeremy Swayman. Swayman arguably has been one of the worst goalies in the NHL this year. Did he have a little run where you thought maybe he would snap out of it? Yes. Does he have excuse making? Absolutely. Was he ready for camp? No. Did he get the highest deal? Yes. Was he ready to go when they actually came back? Nope. Were there issues with Lindholm and now McAvoy and others? Absolutely. Did Zadorov fit in right away? Nope. But looking ahead here, I don't think it's going to turn around anytime soon. And with the trade deadline on Friday, I would sell. This team right now can't score. It's tough to watch. I said it yesterday. I think they are closer to the lottery than they are to the playoffs. Remember, the top 14 teams are in that lottery mix, and right now, the Bruins have a 5% chance at the number 1 overall pick. I think they should consider it. The other thing is, where there's smoke, there's fire. This Brad Marchand thing to Colorado, I think, is heating up. I don't know if the Bruins do anything. I'm thinking they might move on from some other pieces, Cole Koepke, Justin Brazeau, guys like that. I think they should move on from Korpisalo. Not because he's been bad, just get out of that contract and play one of the young kids. So those are the names I would move. But looking at it, they can't stop anybody and they can't score. Therefore, if they did make the playoffs, they'd be a one and done. Think about the future. Just a couple of notes on the Celtics-Blazers tonight, which come up in 5 minutes here on the Sports Hub. We'll hand things over to Grandy and Max. The Blazers are 15-6 in their last 21 games. They've been really good defensively, and while they get to the free throw line 26 times a game. So they're number one in the league in offensive rebounds, where the Celtics struggle. And they just had a huge defensive turnaround this year. They struggled in the first half of the season, but in the last half, I mentioned they're 15-6, but it's their defense that's really picked up. And no one really watches them. Like Robert Williams is on the team. There's some other young players that will be exciting there. But tonight, there's no Jason Tatum playing for the Celtics, which it's hard to get him to sit, right? So Jaylen Brown and Derek White are in. Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday are out for tonight. And this brings up Al Horford. I wanted to just mention this stat. With Porzingis off the court and Al Horford on the court, the Celtics have a plus 12 net rating, 122 offensive rating, 110 defensive rating. He has been absolutely outstanding filling in and starting with Kristaps Porzingis out. He's also shooting 38% from three when he plays over 30 minutes in a game. Al Horford's been outstanding of late. This little Porzingis time off, he certainly has met the bell. Again, we're here for a couple more minutes. We'll hand things over to Grandy and Max. And just when it comes to the next few broadcasts, Mike Tirico is broadcasting tonight's game. Then you'll get the Saturday night game, Kevin Harlan, I believe. And then Mike Breen will get you next week. So the Celtics are going to be on the national spotlight, not to mention on Saturday night, Lakers versus Celtics. I like the Blazers tonight, +8. That's my pick for tonight. Let's just knock out a couple of calls if we can. Keep them quick. Justin's in Shrewsbury. Hey, Justin.
Hey, Joe. Thanks for taking my call. So I remember a few years ago going into the 2021 season when the Patriots had all this money to spend, and there was a trend that the Midday Show brought up, like when you spend X amount of money in an off season, you have a bump up in wins that season, but then following that, you kind of decline. So I'm just not really sure if you think the same thing's going to happen for the Patriots, this year and then the next few years.
Yeah, what I would do is make the trade, get the player, get the extension, and draft well. Matt's in Braintree. Hey, Matt.
Hey, so with regards to free agency and the Patriots, I mean, I think that the two priorities that you got to lock down, and they have the ability to do so, is obviously Ronnie Stanley one, but the DK Metcalf, this is a no-brainer now. So when looking at the trade proposal...
I agree with you. I tried to sneak in as many calls as I could there, but we got to go. You know why? We got Boston Celtics basketball coming up next. But you can call in after the game. We'll be here tonight.